gonna be
Gibas, I have
interesting.
another question for you.
Let it rain.
You're looking into Vegas, right? I mean, obviously, you said you have 700 athletes.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a ton of kids. And really, if I look at them, I know these kids already. I have a good idea for probably about 70% of them I've met here or there, talked to their parents. A lot of them have the same story. How are you going to go about, in your first, like you said, you're going to get thousands of hours of footage. Because my kids have asked, well, who gets covered? Who are the lucky ones that get the opportunity? And whenever I watch a show, I wonder how they can be American Idol. How did they find Carrie Underwood on the farm and decide that was an interesting story? And that's something that we're not good at. You're good at that. How are you going to start this process of identifying who may be interesting in Vegas? I mean, how does that start? How does that work?
Well, it started back in August or September when you guys first approached me. The first thing I did was hopped on your guys' 2017 class, and I hopped on your rankings, and I looked at everyone's profile. Then I went to their social media, and I have a team of writers and producers who literally their main job is just to go and research kids. So when you talk about like college coaches doing this, we thought, okay, if college coaches are doing this, we should be doing this as well.
Right.
So I have sitting over on top of my shelf right now. I won't show it because I don't want to, still.
Yeah.
But it's a big folder of just profiles on every kid, interesting things they say and whatnot. So literally on the day for Vegas, and obviously we talk to you guys as well. We have meetings with you and we say, hey, this kid, tell me a little more about him. And you guys, like you said, either you know a lot about him or you've seen him a couple times maybe. And we'll also talk to your instructor because now you guys have instructors going out around the country too. So it's just a lot of research. But on the day, you'll see me walking around. I'll have a bunch of papers with me. Actually, I think I'm trying to get an iPad because there's so much paper to put it. But literally, I can walk up to someone and I know when they're going to be on, and I can go, listen, that kid might be interesting. So I tell the camera operators, hey, there's these 5 kids are kind of watch them, see what they're going on. Not only that, but you can kind of test this too. You can feel a kid's presence at a camp, how they are going to react to everything, how if they're scared, if they're nervous, or if they're confident and they're just ready to crush stuff. And you can feel it. It's not a secret. You can see it. So and that's another thing. It's just part of being able to capture at that point and being in the right place, right time.
Having said that, I mean, I never even thought about it, but me as an evaluator, I do the same thing because I can hear the parents behind me.
That's another thing too. Yes.
I can see the kids talking to one another, hear them. They don't think I hear them, but they're talking as friends behind me.
Yeah.
Whether it be about who has the highest score, or about they went and they didn't do very well, or they went and they crushed it. But all those things actually play a role in how I evaluate kids too. You hear someone that doesn't have the confidence, or is complaining, or you have the overbearing parent. I mean, there really is so much going on there. So that's the cool stuff too. It's not, like you said, it's not maybe about how many kicks they make or how many points they score. It's how did they react to it, or how did they feel about it coming into it.
Yeah.
And then capturing. I mean, I talked today actually to 2 of my guys who were coming, my elite kids, and I said, "One of you guys got to win it," and they're like, "Well, yeah, we're going to win it. We're coming to do that." And I remember in each year, looking at these NFL guys, I remember them sitting there talking about, defeating the young guys or stepping up doing this. So there's like that confident side, and then there's the new kids that haven't been that are maybe 8th graders or 9th graders. So that's pretty cool, man. I didn't even think about that, but
it's a lot of it.
To see that side stories.
And like it's cool too because I could think of 3 kids when we have camps and the snappers would come together with kickers.
Yep.
And they were a little overconfident, to put it politely, and everyone just hates, everyone just hates them for it. And especially when they're really good. If they're the number 1 kid and they know it and they're just not, and it affects everyone around them. Yeah. So, and that's the exciting thing about it. You look at Hard Knocks. You look at, not so much Hard Knocks, but maybe like the quarterback camp, Elite 11. Sure. It's a very aggressive, who's the biggest, baddest, toughest, blah, blah. This is not really the same thing. This is completely different. It's a lot of psychology behind it. And as a filmmaker, as someone who loves covering characters, it is so much fun watching that go down. And like I said, it's just being in the right place at the right time and watching everyone react to that. There's just so much.
I'll throw it out there right now to you. Chris Dunn, who is number 1 2018, He's not a big guy. He's probably about 5'8", 160 pounds. He actually won Vegas last time in May. He's been number one since day one, already committed to NC State on full scholarship, coming out of North Carolina, made top 12 last year. And he's one of those guys. I mean, he's extremely confident. And I think that it creates an atmosphere because you have this guy who, it reminds me of Nick Folk back in the day, expects to win, is going to win. And if he doesn't win, he's legitimately upset. It's not just, I just didn't win today. I mean, the guy's legitimately upset, but that energy is live.
Yeah.
People around him, they want to knock him down.
Yeah.
And he wants to stay on top. I mean, there's a real, even though he's committed, he doesn't care. He's there to continue to dominate. There's a lot of guys like that, but he will be a very polarizing person because everyone watches him, and he doesn't care. He wants people to watch him, and he wants to win. And he comes to every camp I have just because he wants to dominate. And he's one of those personalities that will rub you either the right way. Hey, what an example, or the wrong way because that kid's so confident. Why doesn't he pipe down a little bit? Not that he talks, but it's in his action. You can see it. You can see it in his face. The kid he's a dominating force.
Yeah,
so that's cool.
I mean, just imagine hypothetically, you're in a competition setting, and this quiet kid no one's heard of comes in and flat out dominates and beats him in a drill or actually in the final or something like that. That's an amazing story right there, and that happens all the time.
Yeah,
happens
for
all
sure.
the time.